right, let's get started. Today is February 23rd, 2023. Welcome to TAG Contributor Strategy, specifically the Contributor Growth Working Group. I think we have like a couple new people, so let's do some introductions. Oh, sorry, before we do that, just a reminder, this meeting is recorded. It will be posted on YouTube, and we follow the CNCF Code of Conduct for this meeting and this group. I'll kick off introductions. My name is Carolyn Van Slyke. I lead the Contributor Growth Working Group, and I am the tech lead for the TAG. Rian, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Rian. I'm with II, company in New Zealand. But I am in South Africa doing mostly Kubernetes conformance work and also some work on Trace Infra, so mostly Kubernetes, and then helping out in mentoring and wherever needed on this group. Jay.
Kia ora, hello all. My name's Jay Tihima. I am also part of II based in New Zealand. I support with TAG Contributor Strategy and am co-chair for the mentoring working group alongside Nate W. Sorry, let's just put in Rin.
Hi, I'm Rin. This is my first time here. I am one of the maintainers of the end user SIG within OpenTelemetry, and working to be more inclusive of end users has led to obvious needs to improve some of our contributor processes. So checking out this group to kind of understand what folks work on, what other projects are doing, et cetera, and to see if there's things I can help with here. And Rakeshri?
Hello, so I'm Raga. I have a pretty lengthy name, so I've just cut it short so it's easier to pronounce. So I'm a graduate student at Carnegie Mellon, and I'm also a tech lead at Tech Security. I've previously worked with the Lexicon project, the Cloud Native Security Lexicon, the audio recordings, and the security assessment book, and currently working on the security guidelines for new projects. Happy to be here.
Alexandra, we're going through introductions. If you'd like to say hi and introduce yourself to some of our new people here today.
Yeah, sure. Hey, so I'm Alexandre or Alex. I've been involved in open source for a couple of years, and I've been lately more focused on how to help communities grow and how to grow the adoption in the open source. So I try and help some organizations with that. I'm participating in a couple of working groups related to that. And yeah, other than that, I've been a software developer for forever, since I've been in high school. So there's that. And yeah, glad to get to know more people and yeah.
Great. Thanks everyone for the introductions. Real quick before we jump in, if there's something you want to discuss, please just edit the agenda and add it in, and we'll make sure that everyone has a chance to weigh in and talk about what they're here for. I just had one reminder. The TOC has an open pull request here, and they are soliciting feedback. It's about cloud native milestones for projects, and kind of some of these things may be relevant to contributor growth. So if you would like to weigh in, I think they've captured a bunch of this in a Google Doc so that it's easier for people to leave comments. So if you want to take a look, scroll down to the last one here to find the doc link. I can just copy this, actually, put it in here. I know that we'd like a chance to, influence how this is going. If there's anything you think would be relevant, please, no matter who you are, you can comment. So next up is tag security. Rexree, you would like to kind of introduce this topic here?
Sure, sure. So tax security, for folks who doesn't know, we work on publishing guidelines, white papers, and we are also part of the security pals, and we do assessments to support the projects in the CNCF ecosystem. So they inculcate and incubate security early on in the life cycle and throughout the life cycle as well. So, like I said, we've published a lot of guidelines and white papers for a holistic and nearly exhaustive view of the considerations that are to be made in this landscape in terms of security. And we realized it may be overwhelming for new projects to take action on them. So, we are now working on a guideline specifically for new projects, as primarily for input as a sandbox project and incrementing from there. So they get exposure to what are the things that need to be considered right from opening your source code management repository and familiarize with the support that is available in this ecosystem and build incrementally to achieve their desired maturity. So this is the crux of the project, and we have completed the first draft. It's now available for requesting the comment. And we would love to see and hear from you your feedback. If there is anything you would like us to add, or if there's anything emphasis you would like us to do, we'll be more than happy to take on that. And ideally, we are hoping this, the location for this is the contributors' workspace in the CNCF. So
Yeah.
love to know what is the process to get it into that domain as well.
Do I have the right URL for people to look at and comment? Is it this issue or is there a document as well?
This is the issue. Yeah,
This-
I have tagged
okay.
in the document in the issue itself, but I have pasted here in the chat for
Okay.
everybody.
I'm gonna valiantly attempt to copy and paste in Zoom chat, which sometimes works. Yes. Okay, we got lucky. There we go. Yeah, as far as where this guide can go, I would love to see this on the Contribute website. The process, just real quick, if you go to our tag contributor strategy repository under the CNCF, we have a directory called website, and this is where all the content is. So if you go into content directory, it's a Hugo website. And this would be related to maintainers, because we have two sections of the website. One leads down for information to people who want to contribute, and the other one for maintainers of projects. Feel free to either make a new directory. The templates are in GitHub here under templates. And we have things like, here are required things that every project would need, and they're very like file focused. So it may make more sense to make a page somewhere else, depending on the content of your guide and how you want to structure it. It's really up to you and your group. Feel free to make a new directory or a new page somewhere. And when you submit a pull request, you'll get a preview of the site and you can look at it. If you go to our contributing guide, it explains how to use Docker and preview it locally too, if you want to do that as well. I like how it says read our contributing guide. There we go. Contributing guide is actually on the website here. So this just lays out how to go about it and everything. I'll just paste this in here so it's easier to find.
Thank you. That really helps. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we are now.
If you have any questions, or if you run into trouble editing the site or whatever, feel free to just DM me, and I can usually help get people unstuck, since that site is my mess.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We are now in the request for comment phase. So this may take about 2 weeks for us to solicit feedback, and then maybe a week to work on it. And I think the pull request should be there by mid of March.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the team support.
Sure, absolutely. Is there anything else on this topic that you would like to cover?
No, I'm good with this.
Okay, great.
If you all have any questions or any sections that is unclear or would like to add more clarity, add more sections, feel free to reach out to me and I will be on it.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So next up, Rin, sorry to like put you on the spot, but I was hoping we could just chat a bit about what you're looking to do with open telemetry and how we can help.
Sure, I can talk a little about our structure. I will say, coming here is definitely like a more exploratory move. I also personally have a lot of background in community management and have worked on some larger projects like Mozilla. So I figured that perhaps there would be places I could contribute here along the way in learning. So our immediate problems are, okay, so the background is we started the end user working group about a year ago. I have like a kind of written piece that I could share if folks are interested about sort of the process of that and why we started that. But the brief answer is open telemetry is it's very heavy on vendors who receive telemetry, and then has a few folks from larger cloud hosting companies or companies that have extensive cloud presences like Apple and Amazon. And when we started, really didn't have a lot of input from people who were actually implementing telemetry in their working environments. So we started out with like just a discussion group and a survey trying to sort of identify what the problems are out there. We're still running the discussion group every month. The survey is still open. We expanded to doing interviews with folks who had a lot of open telemetry in production. We added a speaker series. With the rest of the project and the contributors, we did a day before the last KubeCon, and before this KubeCon, it will now be an official CNCF event for all the tag observability projects, which is exciting. And so basically we're about a year later now, and we're starting to tackle the problem of we're getting a lot of good feedback. How do we get that feedback within our loops to maintainers without being sort of too directive or having them feel like they're being managed, but still being accountable to the end users? So some of that is like challenges within our own project structure, right, that we need to fix, and sort of some other people who have more kinds of like product and project management experience are sort of on that problem. Although if people have input, I'll certainly take it and send it back to the people who are working more actively on that. But what this has all exposed is that we need some improvements in terms of contributor experience, getting new people on. APAC folks have complained that they feel left out time zone wise. And the other thing is the end user working group went up to become a SIG. And essentially the governance committee is like happy to approve that. But what we realized is all of our role definitions within the project are written for SIGs that maintain code bases. So I'm also, I suppose my immediate question that I suppose contributor strategy can probably answer is I'd love to see like what other projects role definitions are that are more inclusive of folks who aren't maintaining code so that we can edit ours. So that's an easy, immediate ask. And I think that's a fair scope of some of our challenges. Does that help?
It would help if I wasn't on mute. Yeah. I think this makes a lot of sense. I'm not 100% sure how I can jump in or how the group can jump in and help, though I would be interested in that. Are there specific docs in mind or templates that we could help with? perhaps. We do have a bunch of, not a bunch, but templates that projects can use, but they are again extremely, as you said, code generating focus. It's CNCF project template, and we have the obvious ones like contributing code of conduct. We also have governance models that people can use as well. But it sounds like you're looking for docs for the SIG and not for the open telemetry project itself, or am I misunderstanding that?
Sorry, I didn't come here like I'm gonna ask about a problem, so I'm a little like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
look
Okay.
where we were in. Yeah, I thought that this was a working group to work on docs, so I thought I would come and see if I could contribute and also see if I could learn what was available to us to help solve our problems. So, trying to explain. So I guess, yeah, I gave a little history of the end user working group. We are converting the working group to the SIG. So an immediate problem that has come up that the governance committee is asking for some guidance on is all of the roles that we have defined within the project for like SIG maintainers and whatever are based on the assumption that the SIG is maintaining code.
Yeah.
And they're happy to turn us into a SIG, but we need to improve our role definition so that it makes sense for these folks. The maintainer one can go with relatively little tweaking. There's a couple places where I'd add things like, for SIGs that maintain code, like it's not huge, but for example, we have a lot of people who are doing things like event hosting, and the approver role in our project and the triager role, which are the two like other possible roles besides maintainers, are just so highly tied to the code base that it's unreasonable. And I'd love to maybe create this as a third role for people who are taking some leadership in non-technical SIGs, but would like to see what models other people have used.
Yeah, so tag security, just reading out a chat here, tag security has governance that's much more specific to not supporting code. So this may be a really great source of inspiration, and maybe we could extract some of these into templates, because this is a common problem. Not everything is code, and all of our templates, to be clear, are extremely code focused at the moment. We suffer from the same problem, actually.
Yeah.
At least the tag security for us, sorry to interrupt.
Oh no.
Please.
So tag security, primarily we are not code intensive group. So our governance structure is something like there are 3 co-chairs and followed by about 6 to 7 technical leads at the moment. And then comes members, and then finally comes contributors who maybe are new and introducing right now. So this is how we follow, and you can check out our governance model. It's not closely related to the code intensive review, triage, and things like that, but you may find some insight that may be useful, and we can help you make it a template out of it, or if you need anything other information from our end.
That would be great. And yeah, if you can sort of just add the link, if it's fairly self-explanatory, I'm happy to like start the process of making a template, and that would be, seems like a good opportunity for me to learn about contributing to the repos for this group.
Yeah. I'd welcome any content that you'd like to write, first of all. So if you are interested, or if anyone else is interested in contributing both to, I would say, even this tags docs, because I said we have the same problem. Actually, it's very code focused, and then building out templates that another tag or SIG or working group could use would be definitely welcome. I think the first step would just be making an issue, so that we know that we're working on it, and then if anyone else is interested, they can collaborate as well. So I'll just get that
there
going.
was also the
I guess Kim was working with Catherine, I guess, on how to help like the non-code contributors, like governance and whatnot. I'm trying to find. I guess there was a presentation for that. I'm trying to find that, but it might be interesting to look at it. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll drop in the chat.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't think there's a ton of overlap between those two, because I think what Catherine was looking at was non-code contributions to CNCF projects. And I think like there is overlap, but I think it would maybe go to both, actually, just understanding non-code roles. But I don't think they were focused on making things for tags or SIGs or working groups.
Who is Catherine, like, name, so I can follow up with this person in Slack, maybe?
Yeah. One second, I'm just gonna aimlessly kind of scroll down here and copy her last name because I'm terrible at that. Oh no, come on. See if we can- Have we,
I see
There we
Catherine
go.
F. So maybe you
There it
can do
is.
find and replace for,
It's
Catherine
Catherine
Paganini.
Paganini. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, she's the one who runs like the landscape, isn't she?
Yeah.
the glossary.
Yeah, the glossary. Okay. I knew it was one of those. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
I
check
guess
it with
she's doing something with the landscape as well, with the landscape UI or something like that. And if you search the docs that we're using for the meeting notes, you can search for non-code and you can find some of the discussions that happen.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I will make an issue, and then I will post it in our Slack. If you would like to then, add any comments, notes yourself. I'm just gonna get the ball rolling on that, though not typing live because that is not a skill I have. And then, if anyone else is interested in working on this as well, there's probably a lot that could be done in parallel. Just real quick about if you, when you go to like write the actual docs itself, we've started doing a pattern with all of our templates. So if you go to contribute.cncf.io, let's go look at a template just real quick. We've been pairing them with a how-to guide and then the actual template itself. The how-to guide is on the website and it gives you a chance to really explain the intent behind portions of your template or walk people through a decision matrix or the process of potentially customizing parts of the template. And that allows us then to put a lot of dense things, potentially linked to examples and other things like that, and keep it separate from the contents of the template, which is what they'll be copying and pasting. So if you look here, we have this and we walk through all the different sections of the template and, ask questions, get people thinking. And then in the other repository, because we have two, the website is in tag contributor strategy. The templates are in the project templates repo. And this is just a lot briefer because it's actually what they copy and paste and the instructions aren't in the template anymore, just to kind of orient you about how to contribute to this.
Okay.
I mean, you're not starting with writing these, but when you get to that point, I just wanted you to be aware of where the information is and that it ideally going forward, it's split up into two things, a guide and then the actual template itself.
Okay, that makes sense.
And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or, just ask in the Slack channel is a great way to get a hold of someone.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No, thank you. I'm excited someone wants to write content. That's great. Okay. Next up, if I just wanted to hear if anyone had updates about the contributor survey, if anyone has done anything or is interested in collaborating on various pieces of this. Full confession, I've done nothing, and I'm extremely short on time outside of the meeting. So if I'm holding anyone up, let me know.
I'm still working on anonymizing some of that information as well. And Alexandra, I might touch base with you about that app we discussed to clean up some of that thing too. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
People are getting a wonderful example of why I shouldn't type while I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Yeah. I think Josh has a queryable database as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
The hard thing there is actually having the questions before you know which data points and which like the amount of responses that we have for each section. So maybe a suggestion there would be to list the data points and the total of responses for each data point and get that to either an issue or a document or something that we can look at and then start brainstorming about questions. I saw a presentation from the LF research group. They had some nice slides using some of the survey data, so that might be interesting to get some ideas. I don't know if that's public yet, but I can try and find that right now.
I think just the blog post is public right now. I haven't seen these slides you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if these slides are public, but do you have the blog post there?
Do I have the blog post?
Yeah, do you know where it is? In the CNCF or in the?
It's in the CNCF, yeah. But I don't have a link right now. I can dig it up and post it in the Slack afterwards, unless someone has it handy. I want to go back real quick to something you said, that it's hard to come up with questions. Is it because you don't know what the questions that the survey asked? Are you just looking for that, or?
I think it's easier to have in a single place the questions we had and the responses for each question, the number of responses or anything that is not involved in the long form responses. So for example, I can't remember right now, but we had like some of the responses that are not personal identifiable information. So that's something that I guess we can make public, so we can start having some ideas. The first thing I tried doing was getting the information I had into a spreadsheet, and once you have that, you can get some suggestions from either Google or Microsoft or any software. They basically give you suggestions based on the data points you put there, and you have suggestions on the best metrics to look at and the best combinations. So I guess that helps a lot, having that and taking a look at the suggestions and having some ideas from that.
Okay. I have the original raw data. I can strip out the freeform responses and then just provide the questions and the statistics on each one and get that posted up probably on just another, like a Google spreadsheet. Would that work?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay, I will get
yeah.
that done right after this meeting then.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. I realize I didn't put mentoring on here. Are there things we want to discuss about the mentoring working group at all? I'm having like a hard time remembering if we talk about that in this meeting anymore or not. Oh, you're muted, Jay.
Sorry, yeah, just quickly, yeah, sorry, Nate will have a lot more info in general, but applications for LFX closed this week. So we're reviewing a number of applicants, but we also managed to get one through from New Zealand, which is cool. And we CNCF has been confirmed as a mentoring organization for Google Summer of Code as well. So we'll put up a official post to announce all that formally and get that information out to everyone as well. Not much more besides that at the moment.
Okay, that's great. Is there anything else that people want to discuss today? Or people are stuck on something, anything like that? Okay, I'm just cherry picking things from the chat and making sure we don't lose them and getting them back into here. Here it is. Oh wait, is it already in there? Great. Okay. Well, that's it. Then we can just wrap up early. And you know, if you're looking for, if you run midweek into questions or you're not quite sure who to talk to or anything like that, the Slack is the best way to reach out to people. And someone else should be able to help. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for
Awesome.
facilitating.
Thanks for.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Here's all.